AJ is fucking massive. And what I mean by that, of course, is muscular as fuck, tall as fuck, powerful as fuck. This is the guy that put away Francis Ngannou in 2 punches. A quick boom, boom. We as humans all just have one life, one singular life. And we have absolutely no idea how long the life we have will be. We just have the one life, the one opportunity, right? As Eminem said, if you had one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, would you capture it? Would you let it slip? Make that impact. Good. What if I just started it right there? What if I do? You know what? I do. I will just start it right there. How's it going? Welcome back to Off the Record. My name's Jordan Rance. Episode 25. Holy fuck. It feels fucking cool to say that, even though we still have, there's no real end to this podcast. I hope to be, getting up to Joe Rogan numbers eventually, and he's in like the fucking 2000s. But hey, 4 for 4 on the clock as I'm recording. That's fucking cool. I'll take an opportunity then to quickly talk about that. Hang on, my fucking headphones are all fucked up. I gotta get new ones. I've had these for like fucking 18 years. Over exaggeration, but I can. It's weird. It's like I think I can hear out of the right side of the headphones, but like it seems like it's quieter because it feels like the left side is louder. I don't know. New headphones are pretty high up there on the shopping list. Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Record. I know I already said that, but you know what? I'm just extra welcoming you. Nothing wrong with that, right? You're right now extra welcome to the show. We're really getting up there. Like I said, like it'll be like even fucking cooler when I don't know, maybe it doesn't really matter, but to me it's like, it'll be fucking awesome when like I'll be like, hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to episode fucking 226, like holy fuck, or even fucking more than that, fucking 600 and fucking whatever, you know what I mean? Like 800, right? It's I love this whole podcast stuff. I mean, I'll address the important sort of important things right now. Obviously, no guest again this week. And as I've hopefully by this point have made it clear that on this podcast, I mean, hence the name Off the Record, there are some things that I talk about that maybe are more real and more meaningful, I guess, in some ways. And I'll be honest. I mean, first and foremost, I do have a guest lined up. Not gonna make any spoilers as to who that is, but it'll be a good one. That'll be for next week. Recording that on Sunday. Fun fact for you. I mean, as you may have seen on my on the Off the Record Instagram. Posted on there that this week's episode, this one right here, that you're watching or listening to, depending on where you're watching it on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I was going to say Instagram, what the fuck? They should put podcasts on Instagram, though. Why not? I meant to say Amazon, though. Anyways, recording this episode, literally, I just said 4 for 4, comes out at 7 p.m. my time. 8 p.m. Eastern. So like fucking just over 2 hours to go. So if you happen to be one of the few people that are watching or listening to this episode, when it first drops, consider yourself fucking lucky because like you're watching the podcast when it's like fresh. Fucking cool. I don't know. I mean, again. Oh, there goes the headphones. There goes. I mean, obviously you can't tell, but like now the right side is like chilling, and I can hear well on both sides of the headphones. It's weird. Like I said, the headphones are like majorly old. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe just so I can get some new Headphones. Just kidding. I like dry humor. I think that's like what I've really, really started to, it's not that I've just started, but like, I've realized it for a while. It's like, dry humor is like, it's the fucking best, man. Like, I love saying a fucking funny joke, like, obviously in hopes that, like, people would, like, fucking laugh at it, right? I mean, why else would you be saying a joke, right? But it's like, it's the fucking best when you can say a joke and then you can just keep a complete and total straight face. Like, that's how you know that you're just, like, naturally funny. At least I think so, anyways. I mean, I'm not fucking trying to say I'm some fucking comedian, but I don't know. I mean, I like to think I'm I can be a fucking a goofy goober. Shout out Jay Morgan for that one. Man. Bunch of random stuff. I kind of just like froze there for a second, like in real life, just kind of like sat there for like a good solid few seconds, just kind of sitting here. Gathering the thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It is shitty that I don't have a guest. Again, this is third week in a row. Kind of sucks, but listen, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm not going to fucking sit here and be all negative because you know what? I'm glad that I'm even getting an episode out because I love doing this podcast. I really, really do. And I have briefly touched on this this topic before, just about kind of how hard it is to do this all by myself. I mean, just clearing up the air. Is that the right saying? I don't know. As you may know, I like to question myself a lot. But just clearing up the... Just clarifying. There you go. When I say... Or when I'm like all like being all like honest to about, you know, how difficult it is to do this all on my own, especially with working a full-time job. Don't think that like I'm gonna fucking quit or gonna stop or whatever, right? Because this is something that I genuinely fucking enjoy. You know, I was just talking to someone yesterday about it, that, like, obviously, me, like, first and foremost, I'm an actor, right? So it goes, like, I'm a multi-talented figure, I think. I don't know. First on the list, actor. Second on the list, podcast. Well... That's actually, you know what? I gotta say actor / podcaster. Tied for first, right? Because the biggest thing for me is I want to just create a brand for myself, right? I don't want Jordan Rance. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna be like a fucking business, right? But, right? I don't want to be just known as an actor or just known as a podcaster or whatever, right? Or more for like other avenues of my life. You know, I don't want to just be known as a boxing coach or whatever, right? I want to just be like fucking, this is me. This is who I am. I'm a whole bunch. Is the camera fucking up? I don't know. I hope it's okay. I have it plugged into the computer for the first time. I've recently, for the last few episodes that I've used the what the fuck? This shit is like freezing a bunch. I don't know. Bear with me here. Yeah. What was I saying? I don't know. Fuck. Stupid ass camera. It's fucking making me all distracted and shit. I don't know. Anyways, I mean, basically just what I was saying is just, you know, just because I say that it is difficult, or to do this podcast all by myself, yeah, don't think I'm going anywhere, because, you know, I'm here to stay. Yeah. What the fuck was that? Weird. Okay. Anyways, no, I was also gonna say, like, as kind of unfortunate as it is to not have a guest, it also has its perks, right? Because when I'm recording a pod all by myself, it forces me to literally be speaking constantly for a long period of time, which is good just for multiple avenues of my life. You know, obviously for when I do have guests on the show, it's good to kind of, be able to kind of keep that conversation flowing, to always have those constant things to say. But I mean, it also helps my job, my family life, friend life, right? That kind of thing. Generally speaking, and for those who know me in real life, will probably know this, just from observing. It's not that I'm a shy person. It's just that I, in a lot of instances, just don't really have a lot to say. I don't know if I've ever talked about this before. Maybe I have, but a while ago I was watching this fitness YouTuber. Goes by the name of Will Tennyson. Shout out to him. Go check him out on YouTube. He makes fucking funny ass videos, and they're all like fitness related, so they're really good for like building that motivation up in the gym, at least for me, right? Whenever I watch his videos, him and Jeff Nippard and fucking Jesse James West, I can watch any of those guys and I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna go fucking shred a workout now. It's this weird sort of brain fucking wiring system that I've got. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. That's just the way I am, I'm a little weird like that, but I mean, it works, right? But anyways, I was watching Will Tennyson. He was on this podcast, another podcast, and he had said it in a way that was like, I felt so fucking like, that's me. That's me to a T. He had literally said, like, similar to what I was just saying, is that he said that he's not a shy person, but doesn't really have much to say in a lot, so he'll be quiet, right? So like in social settings, right? Maybe he won't be the center of the stage, right? If that's what you want to call it, right? Maybe he'll be more stage left or more stage right type deal. Maybe more upstage, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the theater peoples out there. We know that theater terminology. Yeah. Speaking of theater, lots of fun. Nothing really on the radar yet, at least. However, I will be honest, there is something that I'm thinking about. Okay, there's a theater here in the city, pretty well known for the most part, and I hear they're doing a whole production next summer that I am hemming and hawing and considering, maybe throwing my hat in the ring there. I don't know for sure yet. We'll see. And obviously, the whole audition process, as some people may know, is it's difficult. But I mean, in the words of Wayne Gretzky, miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Even though Wayne Gretzky's kind of a fuckface, in my opinion. But good hockey player. But I don't know. I mean, just kind of weirdo. Anyways, we'll save that for another day. Yeah, I want to kind of touch base quickly a little bit. I like saying touch base. And when I said it, I was like, I already said, like, so reset, switch, redo, blah, 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 blah. Restart. I want to talk about this TikTok that I saw just earlier today, because I have a lot of thoughts about it. First, I mean, it was just like one of those ones with like music playing and they had text on the screen. I took a screenshot and I literally have it like on my screen right here just so I can read it out verbatim. This is what the person put. In 200 years from now, a whole new set of humans will walk on this earth. We will all be gone. Strangers will live in your house, not knowing that you, 200 years ago, slept in that same room. No one will remember us. No one will visit our grave. No one will talk about us. We will just be another part of history. So no, it's not that deep. I have thoughts. Haha. It is a good message. It is a good message. And I think what this person is getting at is to not stress over the little things. And yes, in that regard, great message. And they're so right. They're so right. right? Don't let one little tiny thing ruin your whole week, okay? And take it from me, because fucking that has happened before, where, you know, one little tiny thing could dictate the way I live my life. And, you know, it's just not the greatest to do that. But here's my thoughts. In my humble opinion, I think there's a way of perceiving this message as pretty pessimistic, right? Pretty negative, right? Talking about no one will visit our grave, no one will talk about this, we'll just be another part of history, right? While that is true, the way I like to think about it, I think maybe optimism is a word that could be used appropriately here, being optimistic. And the way I see it is, well, we as humans all just have one life, one singular life. And we have absolutely no idea how long the life we have will be, right? That's why, you know, I mean, obviously we talk about it more when like a fucking prominent public figure passes away. That seems to be a big topic. But I mean, it should be talked about just in general, right? Because people should remember the fact that since life is limited, we all die at some point. That sounds so fucked up, but I mean, it is true. Instead of just like, you know, being complacent, I think I used that word right, about like things that you think matter, but like maybe you think it doesn't matter to other people, right? Whatever is important to you, like that's valid, you know? I mean, unless you're fucking, and unless you think that being a terrible person is important, right? Well then, fuck you. You're a bitch. I'm just kidding. Kind of not, but let's not go there. No, I mean, like the way I think about it, like I'll address like a specific part of what this person is saying. Like, no one will remember us. Well, like 200 years from now, that's a pretty significant chunk of time, but it's still like fairly in the somewhat near future, right? Comparatively speaking to like fucking like 10,000 years from now, right? Yeah, if we were talking about that, well then I can't really say much about what this person is saying, because that would literally be so fucking valid, because let's be honest, fucking 10,000 years from now, that is so fucking true. Ain't nobody gonna be fucking remembering people like you and I. You know? They're not gonna remember fucking anyone. I was trying to think of fucking famous people, but I don't know. Whatever. You get what I'm saying. However, since they're talking about 200 years, let's use that as that sort of that starting point, right? Sort of going along with the fact that we all have the one life, we all have, and with limited time, live life to the fullest, man. You know? We just have the one life, the one opportunity, right? As Eminem said, if you had one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, I can't remember what the exact fucking words are, but to seize everything you ever wanted, would you capture it? Would you let it slip? Right? Make that impact. I know sometimes I have a hard time getting my point across, because I have this tendency to say a lot of filler words. I'm trying to work on just saying less. But obviously, like anything, it's a process. Anyways, make that impact. Be influential, right? I'm talking about, do shit that other people aren't doing, right? For me specifically, right? I use the example quite often, not necessarily here on the pod, but, just in my everyday, day-to-day life, right? I talk about how I fully pursued my acting career. Excuse me. My acting career. That was an awkward time to have a burp thing. I hate that word. Fuck. Anyways, whatever. But there I go. Fucking distracted and forget what I was talking about. Fuck. Day. I was gonna say day 2, number 2. Second time that's happened in 20 minutes, by the way. Fun stuff. No, but I mean, I guess I was just kind of saying, just be different, right? Oh yeah, about becoming an actor, right? A lot of people that I've even talked to, or just people I've watched on the internet or something like that, right? They've said that they didn't do this, quote unquote crazy thing or like ballsy thing. I'll use acting as an example. They didn't pursue it because they think, it's too hard, or it's just like, they make all these different excuses, right? And like, I just think that we as people, like, why are we doing that? Right? Like, why are we, instead of making these fucking excuses, just take a fucking chance, right? I moved not only to a new city, but a new fucking province. All by myself. And for my American peoples out there, a province is the same thing pretty much as a state. Just want to clear that up. Just in case we don't know that. It has its similarities, right? I moved you can kind of almost say at the same time, yeah, you can say this, that I moved to a completely different part of the world, right? Did not have my family around. Yes, they were very supportive, and yes, I talked to them every day, but I was still there in Toronto by myself, right? That takes guts. That takes bravery. That takes vulnerability. That takes it's risk taking, right? And sure, just because I don't live in Toronto right now, I've said it a few times. Again, I don't know if I said it on the pod, but I probably have. But anyways, like, just because I don't live in Toronto right now doesn't mean I'll never again, right? When the time is right, I can see myself going back to Toronto for sure. For sure. I don't want to limit it to just Toronto, right? Because you never know where life will take you, right? You got to kind of, like, I'm a big sort of go with the flow guy, and I very much am spiritual in the sense of that I look for signs from the universe. And, I preface this all the time by saying that, if you don't get that kind of stuff, it might just sound like this fucking mumbo jumbo garbage. But, take what you will from it. Whether you believe in that stuff or not, that's totally up to you. It's your life, and I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. But, that's the way I roll. I think in some ways, and sort of addressing, like, for people that know me in real life, sometimes I can act a little different in real life, a little more reserved, a little more laid back, quieter, and I've already kind of said that, about the Will Tennyson story, just about how, not shy, but just in a lot of cases just don't have a ton to say, which, I'm trying to work on, because I want to be more talkative, right? But just, I don't know, it's just who I am, I guess, right? I'm just happy to be happy and healthy, and yeah. Smiling, laughing, right? Not too stressed for the most part. I think that over the past, 10 years, I can say, I've lived some pretty fucking stressful ass times. I say a lot that 2024 was like the worst year of my life. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know if it's super fair to be sort of pinpointing that, like, all my bad shit to 2024. I mean, there's no sugarcoating the fact that 2024 was an absolute fucking nightmare, right? I have to admit, way more fucking bad than good in 2024. But yeah, I mean, over the last I was gonna say few years, last 10 years, I'd say at least, life has been fucking stressful, right? And obviously, like, family is there for each other, right? We're all pushing through, right? And I'm not ever going to point any fingers or blame anybody, because there's just no point in that, right? And the reason why I bring that up is, well, I didn't really get a. Did I get a chance? I don't know. Maybe, because little behind the scenes tidbit for you. Last week's episode, I fucking re-recorded that shit like fucking 4 times. So maybe I could be thinking about one of the fucking recordings that I did that I didn't end up publishing. But maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Anyways, the reason why I brought up the, let's not play the blame game stuff. I won't get too specific, but well, on my dad's side, I haven't spoken to anybody on that side for almost 6 years. And when I say I haven't spoken to them, I mean it's like I haven't even fucking heard from them at all. Right? And sure, it fucking sucks. It really does. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't want it to be this sad, sobby thing. But yeah, I mean, for anybody out there that can relate to that, right? Where they, obviously I don't want to speak on behalf of other people, but I like to think in some ways that's how my best friend Riley and I became such good friends, is because we have lived similar lives in some ways, right? And again, I don't want to speak, like, I don't want to fucking put words in his mouth, but like that's one way that we could relate to each other, is because he also hasn't spoken to particular parts or particular members of his family as well. So, I mean, like, I don't really know where I was going with that, but yeah, I mean, just, I don't know, going back to what I was saying, it does suck, but that's why I brought up the let's not play the blame game, because it's just, it won't solve anything, right? There's no point on it, I just like to think that now in my life I am happy, healthy, like I was just saying, right? I was actually just talking with someone yesterday about how confidence has always been a struggle for me in my life. Always. Like, right from fucking grade 1, first grade, always have struggled with confidence, primarily in high school, but even throughout all 13 years of schooling. Grade school, that is, at least. What was I saying? Yeah. Hang on, give me a sec. No, like I have struggled with confidence, and I think that has sort of shaped me into a person that, is more quiet and more reserved and less talkative in some senses, some parts. Is because I'm a huge overthinker, and I always like sometimes I find it pretty difficult to stay present in the moment, and I have to admit that that's probably, if I had to guess, that's probably the reason why I lose my train of thought a lot of the time. Because I'll be like talking, and then, or like I'll be talking either in this setting here, or I'll be talking to someone, and maybe like I'll be listening to their words, but maybe they'll say something that will remind me about something that will then remind me about something else that will then send me down this whole fucking spiral, and before I know it, they're just saying words that it looks like I'm listening to, but realistically I'm thinking about something completely fucking different. And that is also something that I've hated for a long fucking time. I wish that I was able to sort of just stay concentrated and stay focused. I think it's just my attention span. I don't know. And I have said before to some people that I think, and I'm going to be so cautious when I say this, all right, because I don't want to fucking, be that guy, but I think I have ADHD just based on, like, my characteristics, right? I've never been diagnosed, so I have no idea if I actually do, but I just think, right? I've been wanting to actually get tested to see for sure for a while. No, not for fucking medication. I have absolutely no interest in taking ADHD meds. Me personally, right? I'm not judging anybody that does. Your life is your life. Live it how you want. But yeah, I mean, like, even if when I go to find out if I have it or not, like if I get diagnosed or not, like, it's not going to really change much. It's just more or less just going to be just so that me as an individual can understand just kind of more about myself, I guess, right? And also so I could kind of talk about it more openly, right? Because then it would sort of then allow for me to kind of do a bit more research about it, find out more about it, and then, we can talk about it, right? But like, if I don't actually know if I have it, right, and I just think I might, right, I don't want to go and like spend too much time on it, because I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, for me, if I do have it, like I said, it won't really affect me really much, right? And it's not like it's something to be worried about. I heard someone say not too long ago that, they're like, I think that, like, we as just like society, we as humans, I think we all have a little bit of ADHD in us. And when they said that, I was like, yeah, I think you might be fucking right. I think you might be right, because that's kind of, I don't know, like, ADHD is such a prominent and like really commonly spoken about thing that yeah, like, fucking, hang on, I just got super distracted. It's so funny to be talking about getting distracted literally when I'm talking about what I'm talking about. I don't know, I'm just looking at this is like behind the scenes stuff, but looking at like audio levels on my recording software thing for the podcast, it just looks like they're a little low. So I hope that everything is, all the audio levels are good, because being completely fucking honest here, I am enjoying how this pod is going. I think I'm on a fucking roll here, right? Because usually I'm like, what do I want to talk about next? I'm chilling. The ball is rolling, and it is rolling fast. I don't know what that was, but I'm just sort of trying to invite like more. I don't want to call them intrusive thoughts because I usually associate intrusive thoughts with like fucked up shit. But like more just like kind of like those thoughts that like while I'm having a conversation with someone, for example, right? Like I want to just start just vocalizing my thoughts as long as it's not like some fucked up shit. Because you know what? Like we've all been there where like we're talking to someone that we like don't really like. Let's use a coworker, for example, right? We've all worked with that one coworker who is just a fucking bitch, right? Sure, we'll talk to them because we're adults. But in our heads, we're thinking, you stupid fucking bitch. Fuck you. You know? Stop talking to me. At this, I just got a new job. More behind the scenes stuff about Jord. And truth be told, this is probably like the first job that I've worked where there isn't anyone there that I'm like, oh, you're weird. Pretty much every single fucking job that I've worked, there's always at least one person, right? That I'm like, oh, you're that kind of person. Okay. You know, and I kind of respect it. You know, because if that's just the way you are, I mean, that's just the way you are, right? You know, I'm not going to sit here and fucking try and change you or whatever, right? But at the same time, you know, and I'll use a specific example. If you are someone that, you know, plays by the rule book constantly. Now, I get that, you know, there's people out there that want to just do a good job, and you know, and I that's cool. That's awesome. But, you know, just because you are like, you know, a goody two shoes, that's a fucking old saying. God, these fucking old things I say just make me fucking sound like I'm unk. But yeah, like no, just because you're a fucking suck up, a brown nose and fucking spineless fucking fuck, doesn't mean I gotta be one of those fucking people. So stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine. Sound good? Sound good. Yeah. I just cooked right there. Holy fuck. See? I can say young words. Young words? What the fuck? Words that the kids say. God damn. Fucked it up again. I just got to accept the fact that I'm unk. I got unk status. You know, that's it, you know? I mean, like, fuck, like, one of my friends on my 23rd birthday said, I'm in my mid-20s now. Are you serious right now? Motherfucker, mid-20s? Okay, let's do some math here, okay? Let's do some math. 20 all the way to 30, okay? So that's the 20s right there. Sorry, 29 if you really want to be fucking technical. All right, 20 to 29, okay? Just to make shit easier, let's say 30. 20 to 30, that's the 20s, okay? Halfway through in the mid-20s is 25. Just saying, I'm a bit of a mathematician. That's the halfway point right there. You know? Not 23. You can maybe say 24, maybe towards the, you know, when you're almost 25, right? But even when I freshly turn 24 next year, I ain't gonna be like, you know, oh, approaching my 30s or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, however, with that being said, I have always been the type of kid where like I was always eager to grow up. And you know, my parents and whatnot would always fucking, and other adults would always tell me, hey, don't wish away your life. Enjoy it, right? They would always say, oh, like, I wish I could be a kid again. Just gotta say, and this will probably make me sound like Unk even more, but I can see how they're right. I can see how they're right. Because even though I'm not old, right, I am an adult that has been an adult for quite a few years, right? Even if you want to consider right at 20, because some people say, well, you're an adult at 18. Others say you're still a teenager, 18, right? I don't know, whatever. So even if you say 20 is the you know, that's the defining sort of cutoff from teenager to adult. We're talking about, right? I'm 23, going on 24 next year, so I've been an adult for at least 3.5 years, right? Where was I going? I don't know. Again. But yeah, I mean, like, no, I don't want to wish away my life, right? And admittingly, I do think about when I turn 30, right? What will life look like? What will my life look like, right? I have a pretty good idea because I manifest shit all the time, right? But yeah, I mean, it's also just very important to just live life presently. I said that weird. Just be present in the moment, right? And that's why I don't do it as much as I should, but I recommend everybody to do meditation. Sounds weird if you don't know much about it, like I say all the time, but it is true. It is motherfucking true. Meditation is so important, and I'm not talking about the fucking cringe ass garbage where you're fucking sitting on the floor, fucking arms and shit like this, and you're going, om. None of that. No. Not what I'm talking about. Meditation, for those who don't know, could literally just be this. Just to get the point across. That's all I'm going to do. Especially for people like just listening to the audio version of this podcast. I don't know how many people do. Shout out to you if you do. But if you're just listening to the audio, that'll be pretty funny because like they'll just be listening and then all of a sudden I just didn't talk for like fucking 6 seconds there. 6 or 7 seconds. 6, 7. See, I'm young. I'm not unk. I am. But I try not to be. But I also try to be. Because there's no point in denying it, right? We're all going to be unk. We're all going to be anti-status. Whatever the fuck. I don't know what the fucking girl version of unk would be. I think it makes the most sense to say anti-status. But we don't really bring that up. Do we? I don't know. Maybe I can start a movement. From here on out, internet, hear me out. Unk status, anti-status. I don't want to say ant status because then like that could be like confused for like the fucking bugs, the insects. I don't know. Not unless someone has a better name. Maybe if they have a better idea, hit me up in the DMs. We can work on a patent. Did I say that right? Work on the copyrights for it. Make that money. That was a joke. See what I mean about dry humor? Even if that wasn't funny to you, the fact that I just said that joke and I'm like totally unfazed. Fucking, I'm just a comedian, bro. You know, people have told me. Pretty funny guy. And I've thought about pursuing comedy, right? Thought about pursuing that fucking stand-up career. But, truth be told, I just prefer to sit down. Insert savage. Oh, me. Insert that sound effect. God, I'm funny. Yeah. You know what's also funny? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Ooh, that was a good transition. Give me some. Boom. Boom. Yeah. Well, okay. I don't want to say that's funny. And, let me start by saying that I have always, ever since Jake Paul started his boxing career, I have always been, someone that admires his work ethic, right? And his willingness to fucking do this, right? Similar to what I was saying, right, earlier about fucking pursuing acting, right? You could say the same thing. Yes, I know Jake Paul had a platform already with Disney and YouTube, whatever, right? But the point is that he still did this, pursued this new fucking career to become a boxer, right? And let's be honest, guys, okay? And I might get hate for this if this happens to get traction. I don't know. But honestly, I don't care because this is off the record, so let's talk about it. If you are still someone that thinks that Jake Paul is not a boxer, what are you doing? Look, I'm not saying that he's fucking world champion contender, right? I mean, if he beats AJ, I think that opinion would change. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I get what people are saying. There are boxers out there who have been boxing ever since a young age, and they have literally fucking committed their entire lives to the sport of boxing. And to those people, I have so much fucking respect for, right? Because that's a tough thing. As much as I love boxing, it's also what people say a lot of is it's the loneliest sport, right? Because it's not like you play on a team, right? It's you versus you, right? It's that self-discipline. I think in some ways that's sort of what makes boxing my favorite, because that self-discipline is such a valuable aspect of life, No, but here are my thoughts. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Listen, AJ is fucking massive. And what I mean by that, of course, is muscular as fuck, tall as fuck, powerful as fuck. We're talking about, this is the guy that put away Francis Ngannou in 2 punches. A quick boom, boom. 1 and a 2. And for those who don't know, Francis Ngannou is a fucking beast. Is a beast. Okay? He fought in the UFC. Now, truth be told, I don't know a ton about the UFC. I've never really been a huge fan of it. I know a bit about it, but I know he fought Francis Ngannou fought in the UFC, and I believe that he at some point held I want to say the heavyweight title. Don't quote me on that, and I'm sorry for those UFC fanatics out there. I apologize if I got that stat wrong. Point is, as I'm saying, is that Anthony Joshua knocked that guy out effortlessly. Effortlessly. Okay? So even though I respect Jake Paul's work ethic, right, and his like the fact that he fully committed his life to boxing, I would be naive. I think I used that word right. There we go. Fucking questioning myself again. But it just wouldn't make sense to say that like I'm like fully confident in Jake for this fight. In other fights, right? I'll use fucking, I don't know. What was a good fight? Mike Perry. That was a good one, right? Even though Mike Perry's a tough fighter and a great entertainer, I knew right from the get-go. Yeah. Jake Paul's fucking putting in that work, you know. He's gonna put Mike Perry away in fashionable style, in a fashionable sense. But listen, Mike Perry and Anthony Joshua are two very different people. Okay. And also, let's take a moment to mention the fact that Jake Paul was just preparing for a fight with Tank Davis. Gervonta Davis, for those who don't know. Gervonta Davis is a pretty small guy. Okay? I don't know what that fight was supposed to be at, right? It's not happening anymore, and I think a lot of people aren't too surprised by that. But he's a pretty small guy, right? Again, don't quote me. I think he's around the 130s, right? Pretty tiny. Could be more than that. I don't know. Small guy. If Jake Paul's preparing for a fight, let's say even if Tank is bulking up, right? He can't bulk up a crazy amount, because that's fucked, right? Because the guy's only like fucking 5'5" or some shit, 5'6", right? Let's say that fight was probably maybe set to be at, I don't know. I mean, it's hard. I don't even know what that fight would have even looked like. Like, I didn't really spend a ton of time really kind of looking at that because, I don't know, it's kind of weird, right? Tank's, he's a good fighter, shitty human being, but entertaining fighter, I guess. But, you know, I mean, it's really, really for the best that shit did not happen, because, I mean, there's no way that they could have fought at an even weight. There's a 0% chance, right? Because think, if Tank usually fights around the 130, 140 mark, right? Say even if he fucking bulked up to like 180, think that's like fucking like 40 or 50 extra pounds that he's now putting on, right? And Jake, right, just coming out of the Mike Tyson fight last year, I don't think he fought anyone since. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Which was fought at, I believe, 220. So even if he were to bulk or cut down to 180, right? I mean, that's easier for Jake, but that's giving him the fucking immediate advantage right there, right? So I just don't really think that anyone would have wanted to see that, especially in a pro setting, right? I've said it before with the Mike Tyson fight, okay? There is no reason at all why the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight was a pro-sanctioned event. If it was exhibition, right? So in other words, just for entertainment purposes, by all means, fuck yeah, right? Hell yeah. And there, to a certain degree, I think it might not be a terrible idea to have Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua to be an exhibition. Here's my stance. If the fight is an exhibition, go crazy. Let's have The Rock versus Kevin Hart. Okay? Let's have Floyd Mayweather versus fucking Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw, for those who don't know, world's strongest man. Or at least he was. I don't know if he still is. But, right? Obviously, I'm over-exaggerating. But the point I'm trying to make, right, is if it's an exhibition, it's just for entertainment value, right? So it's no real, like, it's not like it's going to go on anyone's professional fighting record, right? And I think that just if you care about that professional record, you know, like, fight people that have similar stats, right? Age is a big one, right? So just because Mike Tyson is a boxing legend, I think we all knew that Jake Paul was going to fucking roll that ass. Was just going to fucking put him away. Because there was a 30 fucking year difference. Jake Paul is in his prime in terms of fitness and age, right? Guy's only like fucking 28 years old or something like that, right? So yeah, he's young, he's in shape, he's strong, he's fit, right? Mike Tyson, not saying he's not any of that, other than the age. But even though Mike Tyson is still maybe in shape, right? Can still fucking walk and whatever, right? He's fucking old. He's like 60. Right? Imagine a fucking, like, any other time with any other fucking 27-year-old versus a 57-year-old. That shit would not ever happen. Ever. Ever. Full stop. And it's not even like the 27-year-old wouldn't be the one, like, would be the problem. It would be the fucking 57-year-old would be the problem. You know? There was that fucking thing not too long ago. Guy was like fucking, I don't know. He was old. It was old. I don't know where this happened. It's like somewhere in the States. But guy was, yeah, like in his 60s, I believe. Fucking retired and shit. And like thankfully he's good. But he got absolutely fucking destroyed. Because at an age like that, and you know what? Just because my stepdad is watching this, I know. I'm not saying that being a 60-year-old is old. Everybody's different. But I will also say, if you're in your 60s and you are fighting and you are boxing someone who is in their 20s, yeah, I'm putting my bet, I'm putting my money on the 20s, on a 27-year-old. Even if he has less experience, right? Just based on that. Now, I think with Anthony Joshua, he's definitely a little bit older than Jake Paul. I think he's maybe 35? I don't know. He's older, but he's not Mike Tyson older. So that's why it's scary, because they are more similar in age, and Anthony Joshua is taller, he's more muscular, as a result of being more muscular, he's stronger, more powerful, right? He could be faster, right? I don't know what he's training, right? Obviously, he's a smart guy, okay? He's well aware of the fight that he's going into. And to those people that say it's fucking rigged, holy shit. Here, let me go get my reality check for you. Here you go. You know how fucking ridiculous that sounds? To say the fights are rigged. Me. I'm not saying that there hasn't been things like that to happen. There definitely has. But, you know, Jake Paul is a credible figure with a platform who has worked hard to become the boxer he is, even though, you can say he's gone against controversial opponents, right? Maybe easy opponents, some would say, right? And to that, I don't entirely disagree with you on that. But I don't know. I mean, I would find it very hard to believe, because if I'm not mistaken, if that were to ever become factual, right? If that would ever come out as true, that Jake Paul's fights are rigged, pretty sure if no arrests will be made, there will certainly be lawsuits, right? And why would you want to take that chance? Right? I mean, you could say that about fucking any criminal activity, right? If you know that what you're doing is against the law, why take that fucking risk? That's the way I look at it, right? Because I feel like, I mean, especially if it's a fucking big thing you're doing, right? Really slim to no chances that you are making it out of that innocently, because whether you realize it or not, the evidence is, all these fucking detectives and shit, investigators, holy shit, are they ever attention to detail? Because, damn, they've solved some crazy motherfucking shit. Wild. So I'll end off my thoughts and everything like that by just saying that I wish Jake Paul good luck, and for his boxing and his boxing only, I am a fan of him. The reason why I say boxing only, not spending too much time on politics, because I just don't feel like talking about that today. Jake Paul's politics, his political views, don't agree with at all. I mean, if it were up to me, right? If my opinion meant anything, I think he should just not talk about politics. But that's neither here nor there. Just because we may not agree politically, I think that he has shown that he is at least a decent boxer, kind of, sort of thing. But we'll leave it at that. It'll be a good fight, I believe. I think it'll be good. I don't remember when it is. Some point in December 15th, I want to say. Could be wrong. I don't know. But it is coming up soon, and I'm looking forward to it. That's all I got for today. Just hit the hour mark. Cool. Good stuff. All by myself. I did it, guys. Yay! Did it. Shout out to the camera angle as well. I know I changed it up a little bit again. Last week I was talking about how the rule of thirds, where I was just kind of more like over there. And I like it, but I don't know. I don't really know how that could work for when I have a guest, because I'll be not centered and it'll just kind of fuck shit up. So I think it also looks really good like this as well. And I hope that it does look good to you wonderful viewers as well. Speaking of which, I'm going to end it off there. Thank you guys all so much for watching, listening, viewing, all that stuff, whatever you want to say. Be sure to follow the show on Instagram at Off the Record with Jordan Rance, and of course subscribe here on YouTube at Off the Record with Jordan Rance. New episodes every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. For the most part, I know this episode is a little later, but for the most part, 9 a.m. Eastern time. New episodes drop. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and iHeart Media. iHeart Radio. I don't really know. Let's just call it iHeart. Yeah. That's all I got. Once again, I'm Jordan Rance, and I'll see you next week. Got a guest next week, so be on the lookout for that. Be excited for that. And we'll see you then. Peace.